When you have something in mind, but sometimes you don't feel like have the courage to speak up, what will happen? What will happen if you just keep silence? Then you might know it. You become stuck for the rest of your life. And this is important because you have a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of potential to grow. But yet, you choose to remain stuck, remain hidden because you don't want to achieve those potentials. And this is the reality. Most people say that I want to be something. I want to be influential. I want to be a great leader. But in reality, your actions matters. Have you ever reflected what's your actions that you did past year? It might be surprising that you actually did nothing worthful yourself. If you want to be something good, then you need to invest in yourself. If you want to be something better, then you need to find it and search for it and learn it and apply it. Don't just read books, but apply what you read in those books. Now in this series from zero to something, I'm going to speak about how you want to address yourself, how you want to speak like a boss. Now in reality, this is very important because sometimes you think that you can challenge yourself to become better just by speaking. When you face troubles, when you struggle with some challenges in the past, some of it can just be solved by communicating. But instead, when you communicate, people can't understand whatever the things that you want to say. So in order for you to build up a personal brand to become so magnetic, that people just lean towards you, people just listen to whatever the things that you want to say, then you need to speak like a boss. What kind of boss that you have in mind? Somebody that have courage to speak up, charismatic, authentic, relatable. That's the kind of boss that you want to be, am I right? But here's the thing. When you read a book, not just any book, I like to call it a very inspirational book. When you read a book that can give you some value, you just need to apply it. You just need to apply it and try to teach other people. And when you want to speak like a boss, what will you do? You will tend to be like that kind of person, isn't it? Well, you have some mental blocks that you don't realize. You might thinking that I'm not a boss yet. So how you want to do it? How I want to speak like a boss? Because if you don't speak like a boss, then you will stuck at your career forever. If you don't speak like a boss, then your business will not grow in terms of profitability. You will just stuck, remain stagnant forever and ever. Will you believe me if I tell you that everyone deserves to be a boss? Everyone like you and me who are introverts, but yet you have a lot of potential hidden under your heart. You just need to surface it out. You just need to choose to surface it out. You just need to try to speak it up. Don't just remain silent. People who remain silent are actually the losers in this era of the world. In the world of AI, you can just ask anything to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Cloud. But even a human touch, a human way of expressing things with emotions, with intellectuals, that actually remain untouched. If you want to become somebody, then be somebody. If you want to become something, then be something. You need to learn to remove all your mental blocks. You need to learn how to control your subconscious mind. You might not realize the opportunities that lies on the table. It's because you rely too much on your conscious mind. Your conscious mind just operates in front of your brains. Just 10% of the full brain capabilities. So what you need to do right now when you want to speak like a boss don't speak with a brain in front of their head, but they speak from their mind, their subconscious mind, how they did it, based on their environment, based on their history, based on their experience. So you need to know how to get those experiences. You need to know how to embed those inside your identity. You need to tell yourself that who you are today will reflect on who you are going to become in the future. Here's another way of saying this. When you want to become a boss, when you want to become a successful entrepreneur, a businessman that have 100k per month minimum, then what you need to do is actually to sell something, to persuade people, to understand human psychology, to understand the way of communicating to each type of different personalities. Learning communication is one of the most important things. When you want to speak like a boss, you need to know there is no one boss in this world. Each person, you and me, have different kind of personalities. It's just that you need to choose the right personality at the right time for you to communicate with the right type of people. When you want to motivate some people, when you want to motivate your friends, you need to know what's your friend type of personality so that your message that you want to deliver across came into their mind and touched their soul. When you want to speak like a boss, you need to understand these matters, that you are not operating alone. You are actually having a team that going to needs and inspirations from you. A team that need to have a leader that actually inspires them for betterment, for successful, for fulfillment. And once you know that you actually need to be somebody, then try to embed those kind of identity into yourself and try to speak it up. Try to speak it up during meeting. Try to speak it up when you are meeting with clients, when you're meeting your prospect, when you want to meet with your customers. Try to touch their soul. Try to understand their feelings, their obstacle, the reason of them want to reject you, and learn towards leaning your message to actually deliver and touch their soul. One way I will say that you can apply in your communication is actually by speak less. A boss doesn't speak all of the time, but their aura actually makes somebody feel afraid of them. Why? It's because they have authority. But what if you don't have any authority? Well, I say this. When I speak to my president in my corporate world, I don't have any big authority to speak with him. I just choose to speak. And he listens. Because that's what bosses did. They listen to people that talk to them. Because 90% of people outside there are afraid to speak to their bosses, are afraid to speak to their clients. They need to have a screen. They need to have an outline. They need to have a presentation slide. But if you choose to speak up with authenticity to your bosses, then you will become a boss on your own. Trust me.